Welcome to Satsang. Okay. So today I thought I'd talk about the 5 precepts of Buddhism. The precepts are like virtues to live by. And it's a kind of a Buddhist morality. There's an understanding that in our true nature we're kind and compassionate and generous, and that there's certain things that we get involved with that take us away from that loving, kind, generous nature. And so the first precept is pretty simple. It's don't kill anything. So don't get involved in the killing of humans or animals or anything else if that can be totally avoided. I think that stands to reason. There's a couple of things here. It's like all life is precious. All beings want to live, whether they're human beings or whether they're animals. They don't want to have their lives taken, and when we take their lives, we're stealing their most valuable possession. None of them put their hand up and say, please, I want to be killed. They all struggle and go into massive amounts of fear before they die. And so the first precept is to protect all beings. It comes under the title of ahimsa, to do no harm to anything or anyone. And of course the most harm we can do to anything is to murder it. So not to be involved in the killing of animals, the killing of humans, or the killing of anything for that matter. The second precept is pretty simple also. It's no stealing. We don't take what doesn't belong to us. As a matter of fact, there's 2 sides to this precept, because the opposite to stealing, or taking that doesn't belong to us, is giving, being generous. And so in this precept we learned to not take that doesn't belong to us, but also to learn to be a giver, learn to be generous, coming from a space of openness and kindness, rather than a space of selfishness, which of course stealing is. So that's the second precept. It's reasonably self-explanatory. Don't steal. The third precept, which is a little bit harder to explain, is what's referred to as sexual misconduct. And basically it means not getting involved in any sexuality that's going to cause harm to others or is perverted in some way. Best keeping it inside the relationship you're in, and in that relationship being involved in kindness and care for the other rather than selfishness. So instead of taking sex for ourselves, being more generous and more giving inside sexuality. And this makes our relationship with our partners much more beautiful, much more loving and caring. And there'll be a great deal more intimacy if this precept is kept. Of course, this precept rules out pornography and promiscuity, playing around basically. It keeps you away from the mind with regards to playing pornography in your own head, which is a disturbance. It's actually quite a good precept, because sexuality tends to get people into an awful lot of trouble. The amount of time that people spend in involvement in sexual misconduct when they could be doing better things, more kind things, more generous things. So we go on to the 4th precept, which is pretty simple also. The first 5 precepts are very simple. There's no lying. Tell the truth. Always. And there's a couple of sides to that. It's true, if you lie you can get away with stuff and maybe make more money or get out of some kind of trouble for yourself. But on the other side of it, when you get caught lying, you lose your honour. You lose your credibility. People don't trust you anymore because you've shown them what you're like. What the Buddha said about lying was this: anybody who's involved in lying is capable of any evil act. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I guess if you're willing to be deceitful to others, you're probably willing to do a lot of other things. And so being honest in your word and holding your word with others is important, as a man and as a woman. It's the 4th precept. A very important precept. Unfortunately for us, it's one of our primal programs for survival is to learn how to lie. We lie to survive, and then people take that into all parts of their lives and can't be relied on anymore, can't be counted as friends anymore, which is a shame. It's a great precept to keep. It's a great virtue to have, to be truthful. And the 5th precept is to keep away from intoxicating substances, to not cloud yourself with drugs and alcohol. I think it's pretty self-explanatory why you'd want to stay straight. The amount of trouble we all know about that appears in our own society because of alcoholism and drug abuse, and what we show, how we teach our friends and how we teach our youth, our own children, if we're into alcohol, if we're into drugs. I'm sure we don't really want that for our kids. So it's another good virtue to have, to not be involved in intoxicating substances. And these 5 precepts are the precepts people take to basically be a layperson Buddhist. You could say this is the morality side that they live by. And it's nice. It's nice to have friends who don't lie to you, who don't cheat on you, who don't steal from you, who aren't going to murder you. So as Buddhists, these are the virtues that we need to undertake to acquire and to try to live up to. And they lead you to a beautiful life. They also lead you to the path where enlightenment can occur. Because it is a straight, honest mind that's not involved in any of these things that can start to gain equanimity and truly relax and be calm. The thing about being a liar or a thief is these people can never really relax inside because they're always on guard that they might get caught out. They might get discovered. So their relaxation doesn't go that deep. It's better to be straight. It's better to have a mind that can just relax. And it's up to you. The ball's in your court. This is your life. How are you going to live it? Thank you for satsang.